I don't know why I didn't catch this in the edit because I am an executive producer and I do make little notes on the show. But they said I was dropping my kids off, I think at like 5 a.m. It was actually 5 p.m., which whatever, that neither here nor there. That doesn't really matter. But I saw that. So I watched it live in real time, which I didn't think I was going to do because by the time it aired, I had already seen it like probably 3 or 4 times. But I did. I was in New York. I had just done Watch What Happens Live. And I think I was kind of on this high with the show airing. And Justin was watching it live and everybody else. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just watch it live. So I caught that when I watched it live, which again, not a big deal. But I just noticed little things like that because I'm so particular. I want everything to be exactly how it happened. So just kind of a funny call out. Okay. And then, I will say, Justin being there, in addition to all of my other friends, but Justin being there in particular was so important for me because you guys can see it in Atlanta right before I go out on stage. He's right there with me and he's hyping me up and he's getting me excited. I can't imagine if he wasn't there. Like, what would that moment right before I went on stage look like? I would probably be really quiet and in my head. And I know just having him there and feeding off of his energy is so beneficial for me. It helps me so much in moments like that. So shout out, Justin. I love you so freaking much. And having him there on every step of the way was huge for me. The audience in Atlanta was fucking awesome. I could not have asked for a better audience to walk out to. The energy was so great. They immediately put me at ease. And I was really happy that I did this whole like shot bit because it really did put me at ease and help break the ice instead of me just coming out and immediately going into like a 10-15 minute monologue. I was able to kind of like just get comfortable on stage in front of 1,000 people, take a little shot, and then get into it. So I'm really happy that I decided to do that. And by the way, side note, we just did an influencer event for Uncommon James and Uncommon Beauty in Nashville. And last minute, my team was like, can you say a few words? And normally an event like that, I would have been like, no, I can't. Like that, I'm so terrified of doing something like that, even more so an intimate setting. And I was like, no, you know what? Absolutely no problem. Because I just did a podcast tour and I no longer have this fear of public speaking. So I was able to do it no problem. And that was a huge moment for me. So thank you so much. Kim Zolciak was awesome. You know, when she came out and did this podcast tour, she hadn't done any interviews, I think since her divorce. She definitely had never talked about it. And so that was a big deal. And I really appreciate her coming out and being so honest and so open and so vulnerable. And she dropped a shit ton of bombs. I mean, what'd she say? Cameras under beds. Oh God. Oh, I always die when I hear the housewives say that their shows are 100% real because I can't even fathom. I really do feel like though with the housewives, and I know she kind of disagreed with this, but I do feel like they know, like the housewives know if they don't have drama, they're literally not going to be on the show next season. So I always feel like subconsciously or consciously, they are bringing the heat and bringing the drama. But Kim had a ton of headlines that we talked about. And the tricky part with doing a 30-minute TV show is really the show is only 20 minutes with ads. And so these interviews were anywhere from 30 minutes to I think an hour and maybe 10 minutes or something. And obviously, that has to be cut down to just a couple minutes to be on the show. So I'm excited for everyone to hear the full live podcast show as well, which is actually going to come out 2 days later. So the bonus episodes of the live podcast shows are going to come out on every Thursday for the next 6 weeks now. So Kim's will be this Thursday, so in 2 days. So definitely check that out as well, because then you can really hear the whole interview. And she said so much, and I just absolutely adore Kim, and I love her so much. There was a moment in the first episode where I talk about why headlines get to me so much, and I say that it's probably from my Laguna Beach trauma, and why authenticity is so important to me, and why the slightest thing that's off just really irks me, which is actually kind of what I just said with like the AM PM thing. Like that probably shouldn't get to me, but I want things to be so accurate and so authentic, because my life since I was 17 has been the opposite of that. And it's interesting having a new show on the air now with social media. And I don't know, I just feel like it is kind of triggering, and I don't want to say traumatizing, but it's like bringing up some of my past trauma, because I've realized I have to get to a place of being comfortable constantly being misunderstood, because that's the name of the game when you have notoriety. It just is what it is. And every single person who is famous who I've ever spoken to deals with the exact same thing. No matter what you do or say, not everyone will understand what you meant or what you mean when you say anything at all. People always see other people or hear other people through their own lens, meaning what someone has been through in their whole life, their trauma, their insecurities, their triggers, that all plays a role in how someone perceives you. And that's why no one's opinion of anyone has anything to do with that person. Meaning people's opinions of me actually have nothing to do with me. That's about them and where they're at in their life. And for whatever reason, if I'm triggering them or why whatever I said they're mad about because of some past trauma that they have or whatever it is. Because if you're rooted in who you are, if you're comfortable in who you are, if you love your life, you love yourself, you can let stuff like that kind of roll off your back. If there's something that even maybe you don't agree with, you're like, whatever, like you understand that that person's on a different journey and maybe you don't fully understand what they just said. Anyways, all this to say is being on Laguna Beach, feeling like I had zero control over my voice, being on the hills, living out this whole public world in the tabloids, and I never had social media where I could say anything. I always felt like no one ever understood me. And I still do feel like that. I mean, I think this show is a great snapshot into who I am in my life, but I've been reading comments, which I don't normally do. And I don't know why I am. And today on the plane, I was like, we're not doing this anymore. But I will never convince everyone of everything. And it just is what it is. But that's why I want everything to be so authentic, because then if you hate me for me, I don't care. It's when you don't understand what I'm trying to say that gets me all up in arms. I feel like I just rambled a lot, but hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, there was a clip and it's kind of what I'm saying, but there's a clip where I say I value transparency and honesty. And then it goes into, I'm just trying to teach my kids to be good people. That soundbite made zero sense to me. And what they did was they obviously took two different thoughts and put them together. But when I heard that back, I was like, that doesn't even make sense. I value transparency and honesty, and I'm trying to teach my kids to be good people. I guess maybe when they edited that bite together, they were trying to say like, yeah, I value honesty and transparency, and I'm trying to like teach my kids that as well, maybe. But I thought that was a weird edit anyways. Oh, I got this question a lot. I did a Q&A on Instagram today and I noticed it on the show. So I called Jackson Mo. And a lot of people were like, why do you call him Mo? Because I think the whole time in the show, I only refer to him as Mo. So Jackson, I used to call Jacksamo, and it just sort of morphed into Mo and Mosey. He's actually in my phone as Mosey. I call him Mo and Mosey, and I call Sailor Poozy, because her little nickname was always Sazy Poo. And then that morphed into Poos, Poozy. I mean, I don't even know how these names, but so Mosey and Poozy. And then Cam, I call Camquat or Camaroo. So just wanted to clear that up because I had a lot of random questions about that. Oh, do you guys want to hear something so funny? Leading up, so I think after I had announced that Kim was coming on the show, I had a comment on my Instagram from Croy, her ex-husband. And I just thought this was really great. And then I sent it to her and we both were like, God, what an idiot. But okay, so Croy commented on a podcast clip about narcissists. Mind you, this is from a long ass time ago. He had to like dig through my Instagram. And he said, the ironic ignorance in handing one a platform with the full on disorder. So Croy's calling me a narcissist. Because he's so mad that I'm having Kim on the podcast tour. Well, okay, Croy. I love when people call me a narcissist. I'm like, okay, it's always people. Well, it's either a narcissist like Croy, or it's people who have no idea what narcissist even means. But I thought that was interesting. Well, you're a grown ass man. You are a father and you are coming on my Instagram and calling me a narcissist, quite literally for just having your ex-wife on my podcast. If that doesn't scream guilty, I don't know what does. You know, like you're just trying to really get ahead of it, aren't you, Croy? I thought that was kind of lame. And yeah, I mean, Kim really went for it, talking about how Croy has stolen all of her jewelry. We said earlier, the camera's under the bed. she's been through it, you know, and I love that she stood by what a great mom she's always been, because at the end of the day, that is important. And when you're going through a divorce with a narcissist, it is so difficult to try to consistently be the better person. And I just feel for her, because I know that's really hard. And again, I just thought she was really brave for coming out there and saying her side of the story. I'm also really curious who her least favorite housewife is, since she wouldn't say it on the show. I should text her and ask her. And then I got a lot of shit. So I just did all these interviews, and I got asked about Lo in every freaking interview, because I said on the show, well, during the drinking game, I didn't pick who I would rather be in jail with, Lauren or Lo. But in the meet and greet, I told someone I hate Lo more. I don't actually hate Lo. Lo is not even someone that I think about ever, really. I don't hate Lauren or Lo. And I think the only reason I said that was because I have more of a toxic, I guess, past with Lo, only because of the Hills Birkin bag drama that we've talked about. I'm not going to get into it again, but if you know, you know. And I just thought that was really shitty and really below the belt, and speaks to her character. So that's why I said what I said about Lo, but I don't actually hate her. I don't actually care about her at all.